I call this meeting of the Hurst-Euless-Bedford Independent School District to order. Let the record show that a quorum of board members is present, that this meeting has been duly called, and that notice of this meeting has been posted in accordance with Texas Open Meeting Act, Texas Government Code, Chapter 551. Good evening to everybody. We're going to start tonight with an invocation by Randy Beggs from Calvary Baptist Church.
Thanks for having me. Our church shares in the community with Wilshire Elementary, so we love what you guys do. We love them. They're great to us, so if you would pray with me. Father, we stop and we yield to the importance of this time, to this meeting, to each word, to each attitude, to each emotion that would be lifted here. We ask, God, that we would yield just to your power and your strength. I pray for safety over each school, over each district, over each administrator, over each principal and assistant principal, and every teacher and every family represented in the HEB district. And so, God, again, we just ask, God, for your wisdom in this place and in each day throughout the school year and beyond. And so, God, we pray that you would continue to do a work in educating the hearts and the minds of the students and the families that represent these communities. Lastly, God, I come in a season of thankfulness that prayers aloud in this very moment amongst this crowd and these leaders. And so, Lord, I pray for these leaders. I pray for their, again, for their diligence and their strength as they do what they do to support the community and the city and just how beautiful that is and how important it is, and sometimes probably how stressful and hard it is too, God. And so we yield to that and to the realities of it and the gravity of it, and we ask, God, that you would see a great work in the hands of those that give their time and give their talents and give their abilities to reach these next generations. And so, Lord, we lay this down. We thank you for your hope and your grace. It's in Jesus' name. Amen.
Thank you, Pastor Beggs. Next, we're going to have our Pledge of Allegiance, and tonight that'll be led by Malachi White and Kai Sesansum from Wilshire Elementary. If you guys want to come right up here, we have the American flag on this side and the Texas flag on this side. Yeah. Yeah. And you guys start, and we'll just follow. Just go ahead and start. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. On the Texas flag, I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible. All right, before you run off, we got some things for you, so hold up 1 second.
While Mr. Romero is working on giving these kids their certificates, I'd like to tell you a little bit about them. Malachi is a passionate advocate for bug conservation. He's an excellent communicator, a responsible citizen, and has a wonderful sense of humor. His caring nature and strong work ethic make him a standout candidate to represent Wilshire Elementary. Kai is a remarkable and well-rounded student at Wilshire Elementary. She excels academically and consistently demonstrates strong character both inside and outside the classroom. As a natural leader, she looks out for others and is always a kind and supportive friend. Kai truly embodies the spirit of Wilshire Wildcats.
And if any parents want to get a picture, you can jump in the middle and get a picture.
Oh, they're not going to stand here long enough. Good job, guys.
Tonight, the Board of Trustees is meeting in its regularly scheduled monthly meeting to officially act on the items included on the posted agenda. The Board welcomes and appreciates comments and input from the community. Open forum is provided at each meeting to allow the public to address the Board. There will be 2 open forums tonight. Open forum number 1 is to hear requests regarding agenda items only. Open forum number 2 is to hear requests or make comments regarding non-agenda items and will be heard at the end of the meeting. Those addressing the board are asked to limit their comments to 3 minutes per meeting. Speaker should identify his or her name, group affiliation if any, and make a brief presentation with an identified solution if one is sought. Remarks should be addressed to the board as a whole. Oral presentations may not include charges against any employee or board member by name. It is my responsibility to determine if the person addressing the board has attempted to resolve a concern informally or through the district's complaint policies. If not, the speaker will be directed to follow the appropriate policy. The board requests that all presentations be made in a courteous, respectful, and professional manner and asks that speakers monitor their own behavior. If you wish to speak during one of the open forums, please fill out one of the cards located on the table in the entry hall. All right, next we will review the board activity chart. I'll start with Ms. Ewart.
Well, I had the honor of going to our HEB Hall of Fame, and that was an excellent activity with wonderful people that were honored, and some of them that I had worked many years with, so that was fun to do that. I just want to say, and I think I sent it to Dr. Harrington today, that we have sent over 1,000 emails out to teachers, the retired teachers of HEB, to their home email addresses, asking them to write the legislators about the issues with public education. I think we sent out over 1,000 emails with our message in it, so that was a good one.
Ms. Cole?
Well, it's been a very busy time. Been doing a lot of advocating for public education. So Mr. Campos and I attended a conference in Washington, D.C. 3 or 4 weeks ago where we met with Senator Cornyn's office, his education legislative aide, and the legislative aide for Congresswoman Beth Van Dyne, in addition to a full day of learning and trying to understand what's happening at the federal level. I also spoke to the AAUW, which is the local chapter of the American Association of University Women, at their monthly meeting 2 Saturdays ago on the 89th legislative session here in Texas, and how our legislative agenda in HEB-ISD, what that is all about, and how that organization can help as well by calling our House members. And then this week, it's been a long month. Last Monday and Tuesday, I was in Austin for the TASB Legislative Conference, which was half a day of listening, and we had speakers, Chairman Buckley from the House Education Committee. We had the Lieutenant Governor spoke to us. We had the James Tallarico from the House Education Committee. And then I had meetings with several of our legislators, but the most profound meeting that night, y'all, on your behalf, I presented one of the posters that was made for us by for Board Appreciation Night. We had that framed, and so Tuesday was the day that I was at the Capitol, and it just happened to be Representative Boujani's birthday as well. So on our behalf, I presented him with some artwork from our students and thanked him for supporting public education.
Thank you. Mr. Campos?
So not to repeat some of the things that they're done, yes, it's definitely been a busy week. I want to say that thanks to board member Jordan Wells, I got to attend my very first Bell versus Trinity basketball game. Being the typical nerd, I don't go to many, but it was amazing. It was awesome. Had a hot dog, was cheering, went into overtime. It was awesome. Did Trojan Talk, Hall of Fame. Want to say that each of us probably have had our budget meetings, and I just want to say publicly, thank you, Dobie and team. We're having different meetings than other ISDs here in North Texas are having, and just it's a hats off to our group. I too tag team on a different venue, but along with Julie Cole. Once we got back from DC, I spent all of last week in Austin. I am also your TAD board ambassador, so I took some training there as well. I was meeting with different people in Austin as well, kind of approaching and dealing with school funding from a different direction. So both from our appraisal district direction, So it's kind of good to have multiple versions of advocacy taking place. So that was really, really good.
Don?
I attended the Education Foundation Board of Directors meeting on February 3rd, and as Mr. Campos mentioned, I attended the LD Bell versus Trinity High School girls and boys basketball games on February 4th, which was quite exciting, like he said. And then on February the 5th, I attended a meeting with the Education Foundation Governance Committee and Dr. Harrington to discuss our plans to nominate new Board of Director members. And then I visited 3 elementary schools on February the 20th to let them know that the Education Foundation grant portal is open and closes March 27th.
All right, thank you, Board. A couple other things that I attended. Trinity High School's encore performance was fantastic as usual. And I also attended the Facilities Task Force meeting, which was just a meeting of community members who were involved before the bond started being put together. And it was just an update for that group of people to come together and see exactly where we are in the process. So that was very informative also. All right, any comments, Dr. Harrington?
The only thing I will add is I got to go to the the Euless Planning and Zoning meeting for the Trinity rebuild, and it was just it was enjoyable to see the excitement that this project is generating.
All right, any clarifications?
None at this time.
I'd like to say a quick thanks to our greeters this evening. You may have noticed 2 students in green blazers as you enter tonight. These students are part of the HEB ISD Student Ambassador Program, which is a select group of students chosen through an application and interview process to be the face of the district. They are trained to assist with public relations and communication services and are given the opportunity to positively promote HEB ISD while developing leadership skills. Tonight we have Emma Kinney and Marie Edward, who are both seniors at LD Bell. We've been using this opportunity to hear the voice of our district students by asking the ambassadors a question. This month, we are asking the question, in just 90 days, you'll both be graduates of LD Bell High School. I'm sure you have thought a lot about where life after high school will take you. Please share with the board how you're setting your post-high school goals and how you weigh the trade-offs and sacrifices required to achieve them.
So there has been a lot going into my college decisions, and ultimately I have decided to continue my education and receive a master's in social work. But this decision is not one that I came upon lightly, and I also realized that going away in any capacity for college is something that people are scared for or sad about. And I'm not telling you that I've never felt those feelings, but I am telling you that I feel like HEB gave me a great joy in the fact that I'm able to go to college. A lot of the times you guys talk about how you prepare us to graduate. And I would argue that HEB doesn't do that. They do a lot more. You guys have prepared me for the real world. You guys have prepared me to speak in front of not just you, but my peers, other colleagues that I'm going to help with. I'm also excited because part of my education is maintaining a job, and I'll be continuing my lab experience and moving to GI Alliance in Austin this upcoming year. And so ultimately, I'd like to say that I'm nervous, but I have all of the skills that I need to have, and I hope to do a lot of good with what I want to pursue. And I don't exactly know where I'm going to end up, but I know I'm in good hands. And even though I have to say goodbye to some community and comfort, I know that I'm in for a lot of love and joy when I find where I belong in the world. Thank you.
Similarly to Emma, I'm not completely sure of where I want to end up, but I know that HEB has aided me through multiple events, college tours, college fairs, job fairs, so I know that in the future, my future will be secure. Also, in the question, there was talk about sacrifices. Similarly to Emma, I'm looking towards outside schools and inside schools, but I know that if I do go to an outside school, HEB will have prepared me to be able to go up to other people, to talk to them, to negotiate if I have to do anything, to be able to connect to others whom I don't really know, nor do I connect with, but I am able to. I'm also extremely excited. HEB has allowed me through School of Choice to participate in orchestra, where currently I am a senior in LD Bell, and I participate in the Varsity Symphony Orchestra, and I am excited to continue my path in orchestra throughout college as well, and be able to use orchestra as my mode of de-stressing, as HEB has allowed me through teaching me this skill for almost 13 years now, and I'm extremely grateful. My future career paths are to become a physician and to specialize in neurology. And although this is an it's well known to be a difficult course path, but HEB has given me the grit and the strength to do so, and I'm thankful for HEB and excited to start my career path. Thank you.
Thank you, Emma Marie. All right, next we're going to meet our district spelling bee winners.
Okay, this is always my favorite night. My name is Leanna Phillips, and I am here to announce the district spelling bee winners. I consider this a very, very big honor. First of all, I would like to remind everyone that this is no easy task. These students have a long path to get to the district spelling bee. The first step is that they must qualify for their district or for their own campus bee, so they have to win their class level. And then they will also compete on the campus level. Then we have our 21 elementaries and our 5 junior highs that all of their winners then compete in the district bee. And so the words are also very tough. I always like to give a couple of examples. You ready for this year's words? Okay. All right. They are cacophonous. Okay. Alimentation. Okay. Curmudgeon. And our winning word this year was ubiquity. So very, very tough. So at this time, I get to announce our winner. And I see her right now. Okay, I am very proud to announce Isra Alabachayo from Central Junior High. She is in the 7th grade, and she just turned 13. She loves to perform, and I want everyone to know that she won her Campus Bee 3 years in a row, and she is our district spelling bee winner 2 years in a row. So she will represent us, in our regionals. Okay. She also loves to, but she does more than spelling. She also loves to play the violin. She's been playing since kindergarten and is currently a part of the Philharmonic Orchestra at Central. She also represents her school and the district in the All Regions Choir. She also loves performing on stage at the Upright Theater Company. She is a cadet Girl Scout, and she has completed her Bronze Award and is working on her Silver Award. And I know, it's still going. Recently, she discovered a love for dancing and volleyball, and when she grows up, she wants to pursue her love of music and become a music therapist to help others. So, and I know you said that last year as well, so yeah, I mean, that's still her goal. Well, we congratulate Isra. Okay. And now for our runner-up. Okay, we have Nishma Patak from Viridian Elementary. Nishma, all right, there she is, okay. Come on up. All right, so she has a younger sister, Suva, and she is 12 years of age, and she is in the 6th grade. She is full of life. She has a very packed schedule as well. She plays volleyball with her friends. She's practicing hard to make the school team next year. She also loves to help out at home, and she bakes and she cleans and with her mom, and she is very caring about other people's feelings. She also loves art and art projects, and her parents say that they are very blessed to have her as their daughter, and she keeps making us proud at every milestone with her grades and other educational activities. When she grows up, she is motivated to be a doctor. So congratulations to both of them.
Hello, I'm Monica Ubius, and I'm the coordinator for World Languages and Spanish Immersion and Global Initiatives. And today I have the honor of talking to you and announcing our Spanish Spelling Bee. So this is the first district Spanish Spelling Bee, and it also follows the same rigorous format as the English Spelling Bee, but with one added challenge. Imagine mastering countless words and then having to spell them in Spanish. It takes incredible dedication, linguistic skill, and confidence to compete at this level. We are proud to recognize our outstanding winner and runner-up who showcased their hard work and talent in this challenging competition. Our champion was Easton Chang from Viridian Elementary. Easton is in 6th grade, and since he was little, he showed interest in languages. He currently studies Spanish twice a week. He is also in the World Language Program for Mandarin. He's in the Student Council and the Whiz Quiz programs at Viridian. He has won multiple science fairs. In 4th and 5th grade, he won first place and 2nd place in 6th grade. Easton also loves soccer and plays on a club team, training daily with games on the weekend. His team has shown a couple of his team has won a couple of soccer tournaments in the past couple of years, so soccer is a big part of his current daily life. He loves playing video games and watching TV, and now he can add Spanish Spelling Bee winner to that long list of accomplishments. Our runner-up is Grayson Williams from Bedford Heights Elementary. Grayson is also in 6th grade and has been in the Spanish immersion program since 1st grade. She attributes her success to the incredible Spanish immersion teachers who have supported her along the way. Grayson has received the Courage Award and many positive referrals for her kindness and respect. Her favorite subject is social studies and is especially grateful for the guidance and support of her favorite 6th grade teacher, Mrs. Matthews. Beyond academics, she has a passion for basketball and volleyball. She also gives back to her church and community by teaching Sunday school every week to a class of 1-year-olds. With her strong faith, determination, and enthusiasm, Grayson continues to make a positive impact on all those around her.
Congratulations to all the Spelling Bee winners. That's a huge accomplishment. All right, next we will be presenting certificates of appreciation to those who have presented or who have made donations over the past month.
Okay, so first up, we have Mr. Matt Romero, and he's presenting a certificate to Bedford Heights Elementary. This is a donation from Wells Fargo Blackbud Giving Fund. It's a $1,500 donation that will be used to purchase staff lunches during STAR testing and at the end of the year. And Dr. Miranda Martin is here to accept the. One more, don't sit down. This one is also to Bedford Heights from Stephen and Maureen Cade Charitable Fund. It's a $1,000 donation to be used to purchase Spanish language books for each Spanish immersion class at Bedford Heights Elementary. And then Mr. Romero has one more for DAEP Elementary and Secondary from Grace Community Fellowship Church, $726 food donation that included a meal and refreshments from Chicken Salad Chick to help show appreciation to the staff. We have Valentut, yes. Jason Wiles, Jamie Clark, Heather LaValle will accept the certificate of appreciation. Okay, next up, Mr. Chris Brown has two donations for the Child Nutrition Department. The first one is from Stephen and Mary J. Harms, a $5,000 donation, which we use to help pay negative balances on all Donna Park students' cafeteria charges. The remaining balance after those are paid will go to the Donna Parks Angel Fund for the cafeteria. Mr. Williams is accepting. Mr. Brown and Mr. Williams are going to team up again to accept for child nutrition, a $3,760 donation from Brian Matthews that will be help to pay negative balances in the school cafeteria for Shady Brook Elementary, Stonegate Elementary, and Central Junior High. Last but certainly not least, Mr. Brown has a certificate to the Human Resources Department from RBFCU. This is a $2,000 donation that will be used to help cut the cost of human resources merchandise. HBISD employees will have an opportunity to receive these items when they engage in workforce branding in our HR social media platforms. Cicely Tuttle, Janine Castanon, Beth Woods, and DeAndre Skies. Did I get everybody? Will accept the certificate of appreciation. Before everybody leaves the room, we want to say thank you to all of you for supporting public education. It means a great deal. Tonight's grand total is $13,986.
All right, Ms. Ellender, we're open forum number one, no cards. All right, then at this time, the board will adjourn into closed session. Pursuant to Texas Open Meetings Act, Texas Government Code Chapter 551, the board will adjourn into closed session pursuant to sections 551.071, 551.072, 551.074, and 551.076.
That's what he was thinking.
Okay, thanks for telling me.
Time, everybody select their cards. Me and Chris.
You got yours, right?
Go get it. All right, Chris, here we I got the bell, man. I don't want to spring garden. Oh, they're up. Spring garden.
For like 3 years in a row, I did 2 stacks because Rochelle was sick. So I took hers and mine. 2 years in a row, I guess. No, no, no. Oh, no, you don't just show.
At this time, the board will reconvene into open session. We're at item 9.01, District Annual Report. Dr. Johnson.
Good evening, everyone. So we are here to present the district annual report. And as you know, much of this data we bring to you various times during the year. So just a reminder, there are 8 parts of the district annual report. There's the taper, there's the district accreditation status, what we know as our accountability ratings, the special education determination status, which is what we call RDA, results-driven accountability, PEIMS financial reporting standards, campus performance objectives, violent or criminal incidents, student performance in our post-secondary institutions, and then progress towards meeting our HB3 goals. So I'm here to present that to you. And so just an overview of TAPER. The Texas Academic Performance Report pulls together a lot of information from all different areas to really give a holistic view of what the data looks like. But as you know, Emma and Marie were able to state earlier that we are much more than just the numbers and what we do for our kids. And so it was great to hear the kids say that. So a couple pieces of the taper, STAR EOC assessment results, accountability reports, student attendance, dropout, CCMR data, AP and IB results, and the SAT results. And then we have our special education determination. We have student demographics, class size, staff information, enrollment by program, and teachers by program. So, as you know, this is the second year in a row that we have had no accountability ratings released due to pending litigation. So the 2024, we have no distinctions and no accountability rating, but we did receive the special education determination requirements, and we meet requirements. So a little overview of our student demographics. We're just a hint over 23,000 students, and we have a pretty good, healthy breakdown of diversity, which is one of the strengths of our community. When we go to the breakdown by student demographics, we have more males than females. Economically disadvantaged, we've creeped down to 60.9%. Our EB population continues to rise, as well as our special education and at-risk population continues to rise. And I'll turn it over to Renee Reek for results-driven accountability.
Okay. Good evening. So we've kind of had an in-depth presentation on RDA, but we'll just review it very quickly. So RDA is results-driven accountability, and we have an overall determination level of 1, which is excellent. That means we have no corrective actions this year. And in those, just as a reminder, those areas are bilingual ESL and emergent bilingual, other populations that include foster, homeless, and military, and then special education. And in the past, we have had some corrective actions in special education, which is how I get to present to you. And in those areas, one of them was LRE for our ECSE students, so our students who are 3 and 4 years old. And so we were able to make progress in that area because we have added 2 additional inclusion units. Another area that we've struggled with is with discipline, and we've also improved in that area as well. So, there we go. All right, teams. Oh, yes, I do, don't I? That is true. Okay, forgot about that part. And this is our PEAMS report, our systemic support plan. So this is the financial section of the taper for the district, and each campus is provided the Division of School Finance. The district's PEAMS financial standard report for 23-24 and the actual financial data have been downloaded and included as an exhibit. Okay, thanks, Darla.
Thank you. Okay, and the next part is campus performance objectives. As you recall, this is required that each campus have an improvement plan and set objectives based on the TAPER report and measure the progress towards those objectives. And we presented those to you on October 7th, and you approved those plans on October 7th. And those are measured 3 times a year in the campus improvement plan and through a November, a February, and a June review. And also, we just held improvement meetings with all of our campus principals and got an update as an educational operations team on their progress towards those goals. So those were awesome meetings that we just finished up last week. And then next is report on violent and criminal incidents. This is required for every district to publish a report on violent or criminal incidents at our schools. And this has also been downloaded, included as an exhibit for board and public review. You can see on this slide that we had one incident of a prohibited weapon possession. We had one incident of a sexual or aggravated assault against someone other than a district employee, and 2 incidences of possession of controlled substance violation. And I'll turn it back to Dr. Johnson for student performance in post-secondary.
Okay, so the next part is student performance in post-secondary institutions. So statute states that every district must report out on student performance in post-secondary institution, and that comes from the Texas Higher Education Coordinating Board, which publishes this report on their website for us to review. And so we get to see how LD Bell, Keys, and Trinity 2022 graduates. Remember, going back, many of our when we start talking post-secondary, that the data lags significantly. And so this is 2022 graduates, and as you can see, our graduates are matriculating through post-secondary and experiencing success at Bell and at Trinity and at Keys. We're happy to know that a great deal of our students are 2.5 and higher on their GPAs. Next, we'll talk about progress towards meeting HB3 goals. And so we have early literacy. Our 2023-24 goal for early literacy was 75%. So we're right on track. You know, our goal this year is to hit 76%. You'll hear a little bit more about that as we continue to present on MAP and DIBELS. And so early literacy on BASS and SEL is 67%, and we're right on track for a goal of 68% this year. Now, before I move on, we do not this year have a early numeracy measure because this year was the first year we implemented MAP, and this is our baseline data year, so we're collecting that data. Progress towards HB3 goals for CCMR. Remember, this is the 2023 graduates, and so we were at 68, and then this past year's 2024 group was at 74. And so we continue to just creep up those ramp-up goals because, as you remember, CCMR continues to change with the phase-in for IBCs and also the change of the rating from a 60 to an 88 in order to be at an A. So for more information, please contact my office, Deputy Brandon Johnson, Deputy Superintendent of Educational Operations.
All right, thank you, Dr. Johnson. Any questions? All right, so at the conclusion of this report, we have a public comment section for the district annual report. I declare this public meeting now open to hear comments concerning the presentation of the district annual report. Is there anyone here who wishes to speak to this report? All right, if there's no further discussion, I will now close this public meeting. All right, we're ready for consent items. Does any board member have any items they'd like removed from the consent agenda? Then I will accept a motion.
I move that the board approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
I have a motion and a second for the board to approve the consent agenda as presented. Please vote. And that motion passes. All right, we're ready for reports. 11.01, disbursements for the month of January 2025. Any questions on disbursements? 11.02, report on employments, resignations, and retirements.
Dr. Harrington asked that I update you on where we are as compared to previous years. And so I wanted you to know that when our first workday in February came and went with our employees who submitted resignations or retirements to be eligible for the reimbursement, we are absolutely right on track where we are in a typical year, and actually lower than we were last year and significantly lower on resignations or retirements than we were 2 years ago.
All right, thank you. And I believe you have this next one, 11.03, strategic plan scorecard update.
All right, so I know that whenever the strategic plan was being developed with input from the board and being finalized with input from the board, one of the activities you worked through as a board was to identify what scorecard data you wanted to see, how frequently, and in what format. And so several reports have been shared with you through Friday updates based on your requests, but this is the first time that we're formally presenting to you a board report. And we have two priorities that I'll be speaking to tonight. The first is employee success, and the second is efficiency and effectiveness. So looking at employee success, the goal description you can read there has to do with recruiting and retaining quality employees, and specifically I'm speaking to quality indicator 2 on recruitment. And quality indicator has a goal 2.1 under it that states the district will achieve and maintain a 95% quarterly average fill rate for all positions. This is a new data set for this strategic plan, and you've seen the first quarter and the second quarter in a Friday update, but you're going to be seeing the third quarter here. And then also in our format that we're going to be using to share these board reports with you, we will also list the relevant quality indicator key actions. And I just want to point out that in previous strategic plans, we would list all key actions under each specific item under a quality indicator, but we got smart and we are using a more holistic approach. And so what I've done is pulled out and highlighted the specific key actions that directly feed this piece of data. And so you see that our district leaders are monitoring their fill rates. You see that we're using some very targeted workforce branding. You saw evidence of that tonight in the donation from RFBCU. And then you also see some areas of high need where we're recruiting. We're doing some small pop-up job fairs, and then you know we have an upcoming job fair. Additionally, you have been instrumental in helping us ensure that we're offering the types of benefits that will continue to attract and allow us to recruit quality employees. And then you'll be hearing at our next board meeting about how we have formalized our district's Grow Your Own program. And so the data we're looking at tonight for quarter 3 shows that we're at 97% for our current quarter 3 fill rate, and that exceeds the target of 95%. And then this breaks it down for you. You've already seen, again, quarter 1 and 2, but tonight you're seeing quarter 3. So even though there are some areas where we're not quite at that 95%, we are doing extremely well. And I know that there are a lot of districts that would be really proud to be able to have this data for our quarterly fill rates. And then the next priority is effectiveness and efficiency, and I'm presenting on behalf of Dobie here. And this particular indicator has to do with efficient use of district resources, specifically maintaining a minimum of 5 months of operating expenditures in our general operating fund balance. These are the relevant quality indicator key actions. You see the collaboration between Dobie and Janice Hollingsworth, as well as Stephen Jones, to make sure that we are deploying our plan and monitoring it. You see the collaboration involving monitoring the non-general operating funds, and then you see the ERG rating. And we are at 9.94 months of operating expenditures. So we have exceeded the target of 5 months. Are there any questions?
Any questions on this report? All right, 11.04, revision of board policy DEC.
You had an opportunity to read this in your Friday update. This is specifically clarifying the language that has to do with the leave. And so it's talking about a child care leave of absence. And we're just clarifying that the leave is based on the actual scheduling of the I'm sorry, I'm going to say this again. This has to do with the leave duration being determined by the actual start date of the leave, not what we think the start date is going to be. So not when we're scheduling to have, for example, a child in this case, but when the actual occurrence happens. And this will help clean up that policy. Questions?
Any questions on that policy? All right, 11.05, revisions of board policy DED.
And this is just another clarification. We're actually beginning to, as an employee transfers out of a vacation eligible position, we want to go ahead and compensate the employee for those vacation days at that time instead of waiting until a later date when they may separate from the district. And again, this is more of a best practice where we are addressing that in the current budget year. Any questions?
Any questions on this policy? All right, thank you, Ms. Tuttle.
Thank you.
All right, 11.06, measures of academic progress, growth report. Dr. Allen?
Hi, good evening. So I'm Holly for the evening. So I'll be giving her report. Well, I helped put it together, but there are measures of academic progress for this year. So as a reminder, this aligns to the student success priority, quality indicators 1, goal 2, that we will meet or exceed progress in reading, language arts, and math, and also our early literacy. Actually, this one only relates to early numeracy. Because we only have MAP in grades kinder, first, and second, and math only. That's due to the fact that we have DIBELS already in those grades. The last few years, you would get updates on M-class math in those grades, and this year, as Brandon also mentioned, is our first year to have MAP in these grade levels. So at the beginning of the year, Holly talked to you about achievement, and now that we're at the middle of the year, we have growth measures also. So I'll be talking to you first about the current achievement levels, and then we'll follow up into the growth from beginning of year to middle of year. So starting with achievement, we have here our kindergartners, and as a reminder in MAP, the 50th percentile is the goal. So anytime we're above the 50th percentile at the median, that's a great thing. So I'll kind of just quickly go through these again. So first grade is our only one of concern, as you'll see. In every other grade level, we are above the 50th percentile for achievement. And then here, everything's stacked together. And so similarly, if we met the exact national norm, our little dashed line, or that dashed line would be symmetrical on either side. So the fact that we have more yellow to the left and the right side of that is predominantly green and blue is really a solid statement about our students and their achievement. And so now we'll look at reading. Again, only 3rd through 6th grade here, hitting it above the 50th percentile for the median in every grade level. And again, that nice line with mostly green and blue on the right. So, any questions about achievement? And so now we'll look at growth, and just a reminder how MAP works. So at the beginning of year, after the students test, they're each given a predicted growth score. If they exactly meet that projected growth score, their achievement maintains. So if Ty took beginning of year math and she was at the 90th percentile and she exactly met her growth achievement, she would stay at the 90th percentile because it's her rank above other students that are similar to her or took the test under similar circumstances. So she would do really well. Okay, so in order to have an increased achievement, you have to outperform your growth goal. And so we tend to see that more for our students who came in at a lower achievement to begin with. So here's our growth. This is just K through 6 math all on one page, and that far right column shows the median growth percentile. Again here, 50th percentile is the goal, so our growth not quite as strong as our achievement. But with really 5th grade being the only true area of concern. Same for reading, only now 4th grade is more where we might have a concern. And then here we have all of our cohorts together, both achievement and growth, so we can see, is it across grade levels, is it math versus reading? And what you'll notice is it tends to be very similar. So however the students are performing in math at a grade level, they're performing very similarly in reading. So just a few key points. Our median achievement, it is above the 50th percentile in all grades and contents other than where we saw in 1st grade math, and those grade level cohorts are trending very similarly to each other. Our growth from BOY to MOY was the strongest at 3rd grade in both reading and math. The lowest was 4th grade reading and 5th grade math for growth, and Holly and the curriculum team, they're digging into this and trying to figure out some places to beef up curriculum. In addition, Liz Schrader and I have been going out to elementary campuses as requested and working with the teachers on those teacher level reports that get really into the details and helping them with what they can do with the content given by MAP to help really work on specific interventions with kids. Any questions about that?
Any questions on this report? Thank you.
Okay, thank you guys.
All right, next we're going to hear about the care rooms. Ms. Reek.
Okay, I'm super excited about presenting to you on this evening. The care rooms are tied to the strategic plan in safety and well-being and quality indicator 2 for well-being for all students and staff. So just as a reminder, the care room stands for calming and recovery environment, and each care room has a teacher and an assistant, and these are our 5 campuses that have a care room. This picture is a picture of a kindness tree, and this is a conscious discipline concept which the care room is inspired by, and each classroom has a kindness tree. This particular one is at Oakwood Terrace, and what it does is it invites children and adults to find kindness in others and write what they did on a leaf, and they add it to the tree. So this particular one has a different color for each grade level, and it's in the hallway at Oakwood Terrace, and there's one similar to it in the classroom as well. Some of the activities that we have launched into just to get everybody up and rolling All of our care room teachers attended a full week of training in conscious discipline over the summer. And then as school started, they trained staff in the purpose of the care room and also trained students in the purpose of the care room. And they had students come through the care room so that they would know what that room looked like. In addition to that, we have ongoing training for our teachers and for our behavior assistants. We pull them off of campus monthly for training, and we started a principal meeting each month where the principals come together and we collaborate and we talk about problem solving and we look at data and we share with each other what we're doing with the care room. And then Tricia Demery, who is our coordinator over behavior and one of our care room teachers, visited Missouri where the original care room is, and visited with that whole staff and their campus. Okay, a reminder of how this structure works is we have two groups of students. We have groups of students that are scheduled in the care room, sometimes daily, sometimes multiple times a week, depending on what the student needs. And then we have a group of students who, if they need the care room in the moment, they can go to the care room. So that can be a young child who's escalated and has some behavior issues, or it can be a child who requests to go to the care room. So our scheduled students sometimes end up in group 2 and need some more visits than scheduled, and our students who are not scheduled, sometimes if we're seeing them in the care room frequently, they become a scheduled student. In addition to seeing students in the care room, this is our team of teachers at each campus. They do a lot more than that. They support in classrooms. They are modeling for teachers how to work with students and how to help with behavior management in their class. They run lunch conversations with students and run little social groups during lunch and during transitions. And then one of my favorite stories was about a couple of kids that were constantly having conflict at recess. And so the care teacher joined them at recess and kind of intervened and had conversations with them to kind of restore that relationship. And then they also assist teachers with gathering behavioral data and help them with that lift. So maximizing the impact of the care room. This is data that we pulled at the end of the second 6 weeks, which was just last couple weeks ago. And so at that point, we had 7,577 visits to the care room. And just some things that jumped out at me, and this was from a lot of our principal meetings, is we used the care room to teach students who are new to the country social norms. We also use the care room for kids who are in ISS, and they would stay in ISS, but they might come for a social skills lesson or come for a restorative conversation. We also have specific interventions at the beginning of the year for pre-K and kinder, and you're going to see a theme here a little bit when we talk more about pre-K. So at this time, we have 112 students that are scheduled in the care room. And one thing that we've started to see is students who are internalizing, requesting to go to the care room, and girls requesting to go to the care room. And we've actually been able to prevent some pretty significant issues by students feeling comfortable going somewhere and talking to somebody about issues that might be happening at home or happening outside of school. We've seen some significant improvements in pre-K classrooms as a result of the scheduled visits. 38 students, so every campus has had students that have graduated from the care room, and we've had 38 total students, and those students have mentored their peers. We've prevented referrals to special education and possibly placements in our PACES unit because of the care room. And we have teachers consistently checking in on these kids because sometimes they might still need, a visit to the care room from time to time. At this time, we have an 18% decrease in discipline. I expect that to continue. Remember, these 5 campuses had the highest discipline removals for 23-24, but between October and February, we had an overall decrease, so the third 6 weeks and fourth 6 weeks. And we have 2 campuses this last 6 weeks that had less than 5 removals of kids in the entire campus. So it's not SPED kids, these are all kids. They had one campus had 3 removals and one campus had 4. Some additional positive outcomes, and we have Madison here, so you could just wave, and this is, a lot of this came from our principal meetings, but pre-K teachers feel supported. So principals reported that Pre-K teachers, several of them were like, I am not coming back. I am done. This is too much. And because the care room teacher could take those students who were escalating and really weren't quite ready out and directly teach them and then start bringing them back into the class, they felt like they could manage their class, and their class was under control much quicker. Usually we see it about March. They know what they're doing. Now we're seeing it in about early November. So that's great. Teachers have better classroom management. Campuses have created a care room for their teachers. We've started seeing some collaboration between the care room teacher and the counselor and talking about how we can foster more of that collaboration. And then we have our care room teachers will be presenting on district PD days in August as well. And so I'll leave you with a quote, and this is a conscious discipline quote that pretty much sums up, and this is a safe space where a kid can go and kind of have a moment if they need to. A lot of our classes, you've probably seen them, a lot of our classes, regular classrooms have these, and then we have them in our care room as well. But when little people are overwhelmed by big emotions, it's our job to share our calm, not join their chaos. And that's what this is all about. It's changing the mindset of adults. And so really we just want to thank you for your support in the care rooms and know that they are making a huge difference in our district.
See you there in the audience there.
And there in the audience, everybody wave. Care room teachers. Yes, yay! Yes.
So Renee or Melissa and team, I'm curious, on group 2 that aren't scheduled, or do they self-identify? Do teachers identify? How does that happen?
Do you want to answer that? Because you live it.
Yeah, it can be both. Sometimes the kids, because they know that this is a place that's safe. They're not going there to get punished. They're not going there. They're going there to fill a gap, fill a need. And so some kids choose. They say, "Can I go to the care room? I need a moment," and so they go. Sometimes the teacher says, "I think you do need a moment. Where is a better place that you can be successful for now?" And that might be the care room for a little while. And it's not a long time, but they go there, they regulate, and then they come back ready to go back to work and learn, which is what we want. We want them prepared to learn.
So my question, if we go back a couple slides, because you talked about the 18% decrease in discipline. So are we taking away some of the burden of the assistant principals in this case as well?
Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely. And they are part of this initiative as well. And at several campuses, you've worked pretty closely with.
Yes,
the
I
assistant
work with
principal.
them to help build their capacity on what care and conscious discipline looks like.
Right.
And then it's helping them to be able to do more of their job and not just be doing discipline all the time.
So there are different types of kids that have discipline issues, right? There are the kids that are they just don't know how to handle the emotions that they're having. And then there's frequent flyers who know exactly what they're doing. So the care room is not somewhere that those kids would go. The kids that are frequent flyers that are.
We see all kids as needing a skill to be taught. They're all missing a skill, whether they're doing it intentionally or not, they're using the only skills they've got. And so we're trying to replace that poor skill with a better skill. I mean, all of us have skills that we're not very good at, even as adult. I mean, I remember getting married and slamming the cabinets was my way of letting my husband know I'm not happy with you right now. It wasn't very healthy. But now that I've been married for almost 30 years, I mean, it's been something that I've been able to go, that's not very healthy. Let me replace that skill with a better skill.
Yeah,
hey,
yeah.
honey, I'm really upset about this. And, and that just takes practice because these kids are coming to school with everything they've got. And they just want to do it a little bit better, and we got to teach them how to do it better and give away our calm to them so that they can handle those situations differently.
And one thing for about 15 years, I have watched discipline trends, specifically just because of RDA and that sort of thing. And one thing I've noticed in most of the campuses is even if they have quite a few removals, it's like one or half a day. The recidivism, the kid that's in the office all the time, that number is going down as well. So that's pretty incredible.
That's great.
It's pretty early for us to say the care rooms are, a correlation between that and discipline, but I think over time, we're going to see that correlation.
All right.
All right, any more questions? All right, thank you for reporting this. I mean, this is great news. I mean, it's,
My pleasure.
yeah, we've seen for a long time that there needs to be kind of a middle step between the classroom and the office, because teachers don't always have time to meet the kids where they are, right? So, when you have 24 kids in your class and one's not acting the way they need to be acting, it's great that you guys are there to take them by the hand and teach them how to behave a little bit better. So thank you. All right, elementary world languages.
All right, and I want to thank you for the care rooms too. I'll take that opportunity while I'm up here because it's been a huge impact and great principal conversations in the PLCs each month before our principal meeting starts. So thank you to the team and to the board for this program. It's awesome. So I want to present to you on our Elementary World Languages program, which, as you know, is at Veridian Elementary. This connects to the priority of student success and quality indicator 5, learning opportunities beyond core academics. And our goal there is all schools of choice programs will operate at 90% of target student capacity. So currently, our world language programs looks like this at Veridian. We have 2 languages that are studied, Arabic and Mandarin, and students in grades 1 through 4 study both of those languages. They're learning about the culture, learning about the language in grades 1 through 4, and then when they get to 5th grade, they choose a language. It used to be 4th grade, but that was a change this year. They don't choose until 5th grade to study one or the other. And so here's our enrollment in grades 1 through 4 in each of this year and the previous 2 years. And you can see that we are definitely hitting our target there with the capacity. We are definitely over 90%. You can see those percentages there. And again, that's Arabic and Mandarin students together. And then in 5th and 6th grades, the target student capacity has gone up. And that's still Arabic and Mandarin together, but it's just 5th and 6th grade, so lower numbers there. But again, you can see that capacity has grown significantly since last year and certainly since 2022. We just continue to grow at Veridian in all ways. And here we have by language, and so you can see the breakdown for the last several years between those students choosing Arabic and those students choosing Mandarin. And Mandarin is going down and Arabic is going up. So for next school year, what we'd like to do is modify our languages program and go from 2 languages to 1 so that students, it's all Arabic in grades 1 through 6. And so it would affect a small group of 6th graders that are choosing, that chose Mandarin this year. But again, those students studied Arabic in grades 1 through 4, and they've been in Mandarin this year solely, this year only. So a small group that would affect. The benefits of making this change is we would change to not fill that Mandarin unit, but reorganize that unit into an additional music unit. And what that would do is reduce our fine arts and PE class sizes. You know that Veridian has about 840 students. It's very large, so specials is very interesting, big class sizes, but that would help alleviate those class sizes. It would also allow for a deeper level of language acquisition because they would be studying, the students in the world languages would be studying Arabic all the way up, those that choose to be in that language study program. It would give a great opportunity for collaboration between 2 music teachers, both for instruction and the needs for performances at such a large campus. And we believe it would create a more balanced learning environment while also maintaining a strong language program there at Veridian. Any questions?
So I have just one. I'm curious if you go back to slide number 4, where you're at 100% of enrollment on grades 1 through 4. Is there a wait list? Oh, it's all of them? Is that how that works? Okay,
Right. So all the students that were,
gotcha. Yeah,
that
I'm
showed,
sorry, I
yeah,
misread that.
correct.
Yeah, okay.
We are at capacity there.
Is there a reason why they're choosing one over the other?
That is a great question. We've looked into that, and I've got Miss Mans here too, if she has any insight on that. Both teachers are very engaging, because I was wondering, like, is one class more fun than the other? I mean, why are kids choosing that? I do think we have a larger Arabic population that is accounting for that. Anything else that you have uncovered there?
Our neighborhood has a large Arabic-speaking population.
Yeah.
Communicating with their neighbors and just hearing that influence.
And wanting their students to study their native language.
Do we offer either one of those? Where are we at the secondary level with that? Do we offer?
Central.
Arabic and Mandarin, we no longer have Hindi at any of the campuses.
Mhm.
So they'll get to continue if they choose. If it is that sixth grade year, they can continue on and start.
Yeah, because a lot of the students that are taking the Arabic and Mandarin at Central, that's their initial first year of the language. So that is an entry-level class. Those students can join also. This was a program that we started, but it has not expanded. It is only at Meridian. And right now, we have no plans to expand to other campuses.
And Becky, I don't know why either, but my two boys both picked Arabic as they were going through this program.
So the current fourth graders will be fifth graders next year. They'll choose, they would have had a choice to do Mandarin or Arabic, but now they're going to have Arabic.
Correct.
The current sixth graders will be gone, so this doesn't affect them.
Right.
The current fifth graders who are doing Arabic can continue to do Arabic, correct?
Yes.
And so this really only affects the current fifth graders who are currently doing Mandarin.
Yes.
How many of those kids are there?
It's a very small group, I believe 9.
You were pointing to somebody else know for sure?
I'll double check that number for you, Mr. Brown, I believe. Yeah, it didn't have the number. I'll double check that number for you. One more back, Dawn, forward.
So that's fifth and sixth grade.
Right, it's combined.
There's 9 fifth graders.
I believe it's 9. I'll double check for you.
How is this being communicated to them? What are they being told?
So we have communication ready. I work together with Ms. Mans to communicate that with the parents, with those parents first and foremost, but we believe all the parents that students are studying Mandarin, even the lower grade ones, need to understand the change in programming. So if they were planning for that as they got in the upper grades, that they'll know that it's going to be Arabic only.
The number I have is 9.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions?
Any other questions on elementary world languages? Thank you, Ms. Clark.
Thank you.
11.09, college, career, and military readiness.
I'm not Katina Rhodes, but I'm here to give her presentation for you. She is actually out representing and supporting Ms. Stanton for an award that she's getting. So this is the CCMR mid-year update. So strategic plan, student success, quality indicator 1, academic rating of the district, quality indicator 4, college and career military readiness. So here's a little bit about our current performance. And I apologize for this slide being a little confusing, but so let me break it down for you. So last winter was the first time that we began to track mid-year progress. And so this presentation marks the second time that we are giving you a mid-year number because we began to track that number. Now, the class of 2023, which I just presented on taper, was 68%. Last year's class, and this number is slightly, it goes back and forth, but the taper number is 74. Our in-progress number was 73 last year. So on accountability, you might see 73, you might see 74, and that really comes from when that number came out during the summer, and then we actually have through August to improve on that number for students who have graduated who can still meet CCMR requirements. And so our goal this year actually on our HB3 goals is actually 78. And what we are believing is that when we started tracking this number at 56 last year, we ended up at 74. Even for this presentation, we were at 55. When I just checked the number, we were actually at 58 because we just finished the second try. And as we finish trimesters and grading periods, we have a new host of kids that are able to meet requirements. So really excited that we're at 58 now because we believe we're that much closer to our 78 goal. So now let's break it down by performance. And so looking at where we were for the class of 2024, 68%. In progress, 55%. And I just told you about that. So college ready. We have more graduates this year than we have had in previous years. So you will see the number in some cases go up, but the percentage doesn't change. And so you see we're still at 29% for AB and IP criteria, but we have more kids. So we're tracking well now in February compared to where we ended the year last year. So that's promising. When we look at dual credit, this number really comes in the end of the third try as we finish the year because we have a lot of students, they're on the semester system. And so we have a lot of students that will meet that right at the end of this second semester with dual credit.
What do you think it's going to be compared to that 66?
The percentage, the 4%, I believe we're going to be around the same number. I don't think we're going to blow that number out of the water or anything. We're going to, no, I believe we're going to be tracking right about 17, 18. But I don't believe we're going to be at 30 or anything like that. So TSI has been an area that the high schools have done a fantastic job, and so happy to see Dr. Givens and Mr. Belcher here because they are really the foundation of where that work starts, along with the counseling team and the teachers buying into being college ready. So when we look at our percentage here, we've got 723 students at 42%, so we're tracking there. And again, we still have months to go, so we believe we're going to surpass that 43% number. So hopefully 45, 46 is where we can end up. And then let's talk about some of the CCMR supports for college readiness. We continue to expand our dual credit MOUs with bringing on McMurray with some 0-hour courses as well as Tarleton. We are going to be bringing another MOU to you in the next month with Tarleton Today, where we can have our own embedded teachers that are ours, that teach our kids with training from Tarleton, so we're excited about that. We're bringing on the Collegiate Academy, which will help our CCMR efforts because 100% of the kids that attend Collegiate Academy will be CCMR Met because that's part of the program. And then this, in the spring of 2024, we brought Texas College Bridge, which implemented some courses to allow kids to take college-level English and meet TSI through earning a TSI exemption through Texas College Bridge. Mr. Belcher, as well as Trinity, they also created some specific TSI classes that were taught by our teachers. And so he made a lot of ground in that work because instead of putting the kid on a online platform, they actually had our teachers teaching the TSI course for them so that they could turn around and be successful in the test, and then whatever needed to be remediated if they weren't successful, they could have the one-on-one tutorials with that teacher. And then we expanded TSI testing access, and that's something that the Office of Secondary Administration committed to the campuses, that we would provide a budget for the campuses so that they wouldn't incur the additional testing through their campus budget. And so we continue to support that way. Career ready. IBCs, if you recall, the TEA has changed things so that now you have to be, this year it is a concentrator where you have to have 2 or more credits, and then next year will be completer. And we have issue with this because kids can change their minds and they can still be successful, but the state doesn't give them the opportunity to get credit for that when it comes to IBCs. But we stand committed to making sure that our students have the opportunity to be exposed to all different industry-based opportunities that they can get. So IBCs, again, they come later in the year. So we've had a few IBCs. We've got 101 kids, and I got to brag, as Darla talked about our IIMs. One of the things that Ms. Harvey talked about was that we have an 88% passing rate for our IBCs, which is really unheard of when you think about the difficulties of these exams. Because some of these exams, like computer programming and things like that, there are adults that can't pass these tests, and yet we have high school seniors that are passing these, juniors and seniors that are passing these tests to earn their credentials. So we'll see an uptick in our IBCs as we finish the 3rd try. Graduated with IEP. This is something we started tracking a couple of years ago, and so you see in 2023 and 2024 that number is ticked up, and now we track are our kids on target to meet their IEP graduation goals. And then military ready. This is one we have no control over. However, we do provide exposure opportunities for our kids because it's not necessarily about going to the military, it's about leadership. And it's about deciding what you have options to do in order to serve. And so JROTC will be a great opportunity for these students to be exposed to armed forces.
And this changed too, how they were tracking.
Yes, and actually we were able to report, and then they said we weren't going to count, and that's why you see the black boxes there. And now they've come back and found a way with DOD to actually get the information. And so we'll see how that goes. But our hopes with our JROTC, I'm glad you said that, is that we have such a strong relationship with our recruiters in our community that now with the JROTC program, that relationships get stronger. And so we know ahead of time instead of waiting for the state to report it to us. So some additional supports for CCMR. There has been a CCMR committee that's been established where all the stakeholders are coming together, making sure that we're collecting clean data, we're making sure that the campuses have the support that they need, and we're trying to find better ways to track, which really comes down to we got to track every kid one by one in order to get them across the finish line. And then collaboration with other stakeholders at the campus level, because really, we can do all this work, but what it really comes down to is that teacher, that coach that's directly impacted, that can directly impact that kid. That's the one that's going to get that kid actually interested in taking the TSI and sitting down and taking it seriously. And so the more we get them on board with understanding the impact that they can have by just a simple conversation, the better we are going to be with our kids. And so we also hired a CCMR specialist. And that CCMR specialist was to help the high school campuses with that tracking. And so we hope to continue to expand that and also help take that down to the junior high level so that we can make sure that kids' 4-year plans are laid out so that they can be successful in achieving their 4-year plan. So with that, I know I threw a lot out at you, but really, really proud of our people and the work that we started years ago and the way that we've continued to adapt our system and stay true to the beliefs that we have of not chasing a check mark, but trying to make sure that we are doing the right thing by our kids and preparing them for whatever it is for their community and their future.
All right, any questions on the CCMR update? All right, thank you, Dr. Johnson. All right, we're down to action items. No items were removed from the consent agenda, so 12.02, consider approval of the 2025-2026 staffing table. Ms. Tuttle.
We're very excited to be able to bring to you tonight our continuing units as well as new units that we are requesting. And I want to say thank you to the Board of Trustees for your support in bringing all of these units at once, which will allow us, following approval, to be able to post these positions and attract quality candidates very quickly at this really prime time. Any questions?
All right, if there are no questions, I'll accept the motion.
I move the board approve the 2025-2026 staffing table as submitted.
Second.
I have a motion and a second for the board to approve the 2025-2026 staffing table as submitted. Please vote. That motion passes. 12.03, consider approval of 2025-2026 employment calendar dates.
Since the approval of the instructional calendar, we've been working closely with the executive leadership team as well as department leaders to identify and develop our 26 employment calendars. And so the document that you're approving tonight states the beginning and ending date of each of those calendars. And then we, following approval, will share those with the respective groups. And included in that are the employee groups associated with our Collegiate Academy. And I know you had an opportunity in the Friday update to review the side-by-sides provided by Dr. Gibbons, Dr. Hopkins, and Mrs. Force. Any questions?
I heard this is one and done this year.
That's the goal.
Okay. All right, no questions? I'll accept the motion.
I move that the board approve the 2025-2026 employment calendar dates as presented.
Second.
I have a motion and a second for the board to approve the 2025-2026 employment calendar dates as presented. Please vote. And that motion passes. 12.04, consider approval of guaranteed maximum price for LD Bell High School, Phase 1 and 2AB.
Good evening. Well, I want to say this has been a long time coming since the passage of the bond in November of 2023. We're now in February 2025. So we are very excited to present to you this opportunity to approve this guaranteed maximum price from our contractor Juris on LD Bell High School. This touches on several of our district priorities: student success, employee success, and of course safety and well-being, and effectiveness and efficiency, because we are building almost a completely brand new high school. What this slide is here, this shows you what we proposed in the bond. This is kind of what we put out there, the $342 million for LD Bell High School. Our guaranteed maximum price budget, this was prepared by HPM, our project manager company that we hired to put these numbers together so that we would have a budget to work off of. You can see Phase 0 in the amount of $8.8 million, Phases 1 and 2, $283,600, $980, for total hard costs of $292,455, $615. Then below that, you see the architect fees, other soft costs, furniture, fixture, and equipment, totaling $48,414 for a total cost of $340,869,625 and 10 cents, which I think that 10 cents is a rounding calculation if you actually add all those up. But anyway, and that shows you the variances, but we actually a little to the good there. So we're very excited about these numbers. The bids came in really good, we think. See if I missed anything there. I think we're good. This is the summary page from Juris, is actually a submittal document that matches up with, let me go back to that slide. You can see the hard cost number is the 292, 455, 615. That matches up with the Juris submittal summary document down there at the bottom, 292, 455, 616. And that's a cost per square foot of $527.15. Now, you were, we submitted to you on Friday in the Friday update, very detailed information of all of this. And we're now prepared to answer any questions. Most of the people in the audience here, I think, are here for this. We've got people with HPM that can answer the budgetary questions. Juris is, of course, here. Corrigan, our architects, are here. And then our very own Mr. Minor, hot off the airplane.
A lot of dollars per hour over there. A lot of dollars per hour over there.
So anyway, we are happy to, like I said, I don't think anybody I missed, nobody brought their dog? No? All right.
Josh, Andy was asking about the portable that's sitting out by the Bell baseball field.
Bill. There's a new bill. Portable out by the baseball field? Oh, sorry, yes, absolutely. Okay, so when we had the job shacks, we had to move those because the building actually encroached a little bit farther than what we could have the job shack and to build the building. So we're actually moving those around to the other side where the practice field was, and that's where we're gonna be moving. Actually, we have one there now. We're moving the other one in the soon-to-be future. Yep. Yes. And so originally there was two sitting there already. It's just that it looks like there's a new one showed up. It's that we actually separated one and moved it to the other side. So it looks like now you can see one in one place and one in the other. Yep.
All right, so any questions about the actual budget?
So it says that the pricing is contingent upon getting a permit by today. Did we get a permit today?
Yes.
Excellent.
Oh, yes.
Good news.
It's a look of relief.
That is good. Can you talk about the alternates? All of them look to be accepted except for one that was rejected.
Okay, the one that was rejected was the vape detection system. We brought that up with the ELT, with our executive team. Everyone agreed that, and with history and talking with other districts, one of the issues is the vape systems are not, they're not as reliable as what you think they might be. And then when they do go off, you essentially have administrators that are running to these locations. And if you can think about it, they go off, I run there, and they've already moved. So now you have administrators that are chasing. So really what it came down to is it was a system that didn't appear that it was going to be producing for us what we needed to, especially for the dollar figure. So the ROI was definitely not in the job for us to be able to continue with those. So we rejected that one.
Okay, but it wasn't because of we didn't have the money for it. We made
No. We made a
conscious
decision,
that this was not
but
something
yes,
we wanted.
absolutely.
Okay. Okay. And then when do we expect the A133 to be ready?
Yeah, it's Gary.
Gary.
Now that I have numbers for them.
All right, any more questions? Anything else you wanted to share? If not, I'll accept the motion.
I move that the board approve the guaranteed maximum price for LD Bell High School Phase 1 and 2A-B as presented.
Second.
I have a motion, a second, for the board to approve the guaranteed maximum price for LD Bell High School Phase 1 and 2A-B as presented. Please vote. And that motion passes.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for all the work to get to this point. Yeah. All right, item 12.05, consider approval of LD Bell High School school replacement band uniforms. Mr. Kerbo?
Dr. Harrington and Mr. Romero, members of the board. Got a few things for you tonight. First one is, of the items that we have on routine schedules for replacement, band uniforms represents a major purchase from the BPA department. And we've got, it's time for LD Bell to have their uniforms replaced. We had hoped to have this brought to you last meeting for review, but we were finalizing some our processes, collecting our final pricing and so forth. This process requires 3 steps. One is to solicit quotes from prospective uniform providers to, one, create a design and provide pricing for that. And then once the designs were reviewed and the ones that were selected as finalists, we ask for firm pricing from those folks. And that's the tabulation that you see before you tonight. Another component of this is getting in their production schedule. These are long lead items. As you see in the tabulation there, can take upwards of 210 days for delivery. So the reason why we're asking for action on this tonight is to be able to get in their production line and get scheduled so that we can have delivery in time for next fall.
All right, so they will be here for the Macy's Day?
Yes, like I said, soon, now that we have action. So we're going to approve this tonight, tomorrow, and get the PO off to them. That's how tight the timeline is.
All right. Any questions?
I do have a question. What is the difference between the heavy-duty garment box and a Shako box?
Shako box is for the hat.
Yeah.
So we're going from the heavy-duty garment box to the Shako box, it looks like.
Probably get both, don't you?
The type of Shakos that they're ordering are actually visors with a wrap, so it's not as bulky an item, a heavy garment box needed for those.
Okay, so that's why you don't longer
It's a different
need the
style.
garment box.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
All right.
So if this is on our uniform replacement cycle, how long do we expect these uniforms to last?
The normal schedule has been 10 years, but I think Christine is looking to maybe look at it after 8 years to see see how they're holding up. And would like to keep it at 10 years if possible, but they may need to be replaced within about 8 years.
When is the last time Trinity had a band replacement?
I do not have that information, but we can. We'll be doing this for them before you know it.
It's 5 or 6 years because I was still there.
Yeah, but I remember when we.
All right, any additional questions on the uniforms? I'll accept a motion.
I move the board approve the purchase of replacement band uniforms for LD Bell High School as presented.
A second.
I have a motion, a second for the board to approve the purchase of replacement band uniforms for LD Bell High School as presented. Please vote. And that motion passes. Consider approval of purchase of replacement service vehicles.
And we've had a number of vehicles that were included in the budget for replacing existing vehicles that are well near their end of useful life. And we had continual challenges being able to purchase vehicles because of the ordering window in the supply chain disruption and the chip shortage from pre-pandemic around the pandemic time has affected being able to order these. So what's happening is every time a vehicle comes in inventory from one of our vendors that we can purchase from, the private community just goes out there and buys it because they don't have to go through a board approval process. So what we're asking is that you'd allow us to be able to continue shopping for these vehicles from our existing vendors and delegating that authority to the superintendent or his designee to be able to make those purchases as they come in, as we get vehicles that meet our needs and are within our budget.
So are these vehicles on this list vehicles that we've already approved that you weren't able to close on because they were sold before we got to them? Or are these new vehicles?
These are replacement vehicles, but they're not on that, the previous ones that we discussed.
All right, so this is a different.
Correct. They were included in the budget for, I believe, warehouse and construction materials. Correct, yes. Yeah, we're still trying to buy these.
All right, any questions on the vehicle replacements? I'll accept the motion.
I move that the board approve the purchase of up to 6 replacement service vehicles from available cooperative contracts as vehicles become available in an amount not to exceed $260,916.28 and delegate authority to the superintendent or designee to approve these purchases as presented.
I have a motion and second for the board to approve the purchase of up to 6 replacement service vehicles from available cooperative contracts as vehicles become available in an amount not to exceed $260,916.28 and delegate the authority to the superintendent or designee to approve these purchases as presented. Please vote. And that motion passes. 12.07, consider approval of memorandum of understanding. Dr. Johnson?
All right, before I get started, I just want to answer your question in front of the mic. Trinity is due up in 26, 27 for band uniforms, just so. So, for.
Like they'll get them in the fall of 26?
No, we will be bringing that to you this school year of 26, 27, so it'll be 27. It'll be, yeah, fall 27, yeah. Okay, so what you have in front of you is a MOU, Memorandum of Understanding, between us and Six Stones. And this helps Six Stones, who has an internship program that's approved through Workforce Solutions, and they provide funding. And so none of these things are during the day. This is all after school, but this MOU in place helps them with their grant with Workforce Solutions.
All right, any questions on the MOU? I'll accept the motion.
I move the board approve the memorandum of understanding as submitted.
I have a motion and second for the board to approve the memorandum of understanding as submitted. Please vote. And that motion passes. 12.08, consider approval of designated district non-work days for compliance with HB 3033.
Open forum. These are very, very close to the dates that we chose last year. So as you know, that we have to designate dates that we are closed, that the office is closed, and that falls within the 10 days that it takes for a public information request to be requested. So we have to publish these dates, and we have to communicate to people when a public information request comes in, that we are closed these days, and that does not count on the 10 days. So again, these dates are very, very close to what they were last year, and my office is, we can work within these parameters.
All right, any questions? I'll accept the motion.
I move that the board approve March 17th through the 21st, 2025, and December 22nd through 23rd, and 29th through 31st, 2025 as designated non-work days in compliance with HB 3033.
I have a motion and second for the board to approve March 17th through 21st, 2025, December 22nd through 23rd, and 29th through 31, 2025 as designated non-work days in compliance with HB 3033. Please vote. And that motion passes. All right, we do not have any cards for open forum number 2. Other business, 14.01, opportunity for board members to request items be placed on future board agendas. Does anybody have anything? All right, we do not need a second closed session, correct? And I will accept the motion to adjourn.
So moved.
We are adjourned.